Hello, you're welcome to my podcast, Mumzibah Talks. You're welcome. So, if you're just joining me for the first time or listening to this podcast, I am Mumzibah, a child, youth, and a family life coach show. So, on this podcast, we talk about our family issues and problems, and we locally and globally, and we also see the solution and hacks on how to solve this problem. So if this is your first time, please do subscribe so that you can be listening to more interesting talks and issues and solutions to those problems. You could apply them when you have one. Thank you. So today I'll be talking on domestic conflict and its hazards. Domestic conflict and its hazards. I know many people will say we already know what domestic conflict means. But these contents are for those who really understand what domestic conflict really means when it hits any family. So we are going to be seeing hazards, the problems that comes with this kind of condition in a family setting. So come on, you are in the right place. Let's roll together. Domestic violence is a type of violence that occurs in a family settings, such as marriage, cohabitation relationship, and also beneficial relationship. Domestic violence is often used as a synonym for intimate partner violence. Okay, it is exercised from an abuser in a relationship to its victim. So there are two characters that are really involved in this kind of a scenario, and the characters are the abuser and the victim. It can take place in any format of relationship, either same-sex relationship, heterosexual relationship, betrothed relationships, and many more. In a recent, domestic violence and conflicts can actually grow from a less sensitive level, a subtle level, to a serious and life-threatening level, like violent physical abuse, like consistent fighting or battering or beating his victim, the lesser one in the relationship, marital rape, domestic murder, like stabbing, like bride burning, stoning, honor killing, death of honor or maltreatment, or even dowry killing. Dowry death, rather, that means non-coexistent or cohabiting, most times with family member of the person's spouse. In this kind of scenario, in this kind of situation, the people that are really subtle in this kind of situation are the female. The people that are of the weaker ones, majorly rather, are the female gender. Okay, so do you know that there are many forms through which this can be felt? Other forms like verbal abuse, emotional torturing, choice of religion, practice restrictions. You will see where husband is telling the wife, you don't have to go to this church, especially when he knows that maybe for some time, the wife has been doing so well, or the husband has been doing so well in that kind of a setting. He knows that, because everybody really have different setting which they exercise their strength, and both even spiritual strength. So like restrict the person. I don't want you to worship here. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to pray. I don't want you to sing praises. All those are formats. Okay, they are all formats of domineering and tyranny in a relationship, that domestic violence can be felt in a relationship when it is too much. You have a total control and power over the victim. You know that really this is already showing its face, and this is really occurring in a relationship. You also have physical abuse, and you also have sexual abuse. Some people will be asking, like when I said it earlier, marital rape. They'll be like saying, what is the meaning of marital rape? There is nothing like that. And some do understand that there is something like that. I put it to you that there is something like that. In a situation where your wife or the husband is not physically fit, and is not physically fit, and he tells the spouse that I don't think that I'll be able to make out with you. This time you are talking about is not actually the right time for me because of some present things, because of how I feel, because of how the things happen with me, or because of when you do it with me at this particular time, I might feel pain because of what I am passing through. And that partner does not really want to understand and forcefully goes into his or her partner. You already know that marital rape has already taken its place. Sexual abuse, in the sense that the man decides or the woman decides, majorly men decides to have sex with the woman, whether she's comfortable enough with it, whether she's in the parlor, whether she's with her children. He abuses her. If he's drunk, he batter her, beat her up, and still molest her, tear her clothes, have sex with her anywhere or with him anywhere, to the extent that she might lose her honor, maybe in presence of her sisters, in presence of her maids. All those things are all signs and symptoms and expressions of family or domestic conflict. So statistically, how I said earlier, it is majorly experienced by female gender, but most advanced countries have restrictions on the male treating their spouse. So this is really prevalent in Africa culture. Okay, mostly in Africa setting, you see them most time portray this, okay, because they feel they can really get away with it. So there is nothing that can stop them. They can do it. So it is really, really bad. Domestic violence trends in homes where the abuser sees his or her victim very weak and voiceless, poor and has no defense, or naturally came from a background where such is practiced, and as over time, has been exercised by his or her parent, and sees it as a normal lifestyle. Okay, so their people, background really matters. When a man or a woman comes from a family where he sees his mother, like a guy or a man sees his father beat up his mom, molest the mom, does anything to the mom to make the mom, you will expect that. Let me tell you, it only takes the full grace of God and a child who has conscience and the Spirit of God not to exercise that to his own wife. Most people are educated and they feel like, after all, my mom passed straight with my father, so why can't I do that? And even you see most mothers, they encourage their sons to do it to their wives. It's not really good. It's not really nice. Those people that are like abusers, it's not really good. It's not encouraging, because it is very, very disastrous. The people you are victimizing, they are also human beings. They are also children to some other persons. They love you to the extent they submit themselves to you. So it's not good for you to batter them and make them lose their honor as a human being. There is something that makes money very different from every other papers. Is the value that is attached to it. So any individual who loses his or her honor as an individual most times look very valueless and feels like taking his or her life. So we're coming to that. The ugly truth about this is that children from such homes are watching their parents, and it creates a lot of pictures in their mind. Like most of them, they have fear of getting married. They have fear of engaging with any man to settle down or any woman to settle down, being from where, according to the where they are coming from. Okay, so they have the fear for marriage. So we have so much runaway youth today, here and there. So these are one of the causes. Okay, we have depression. Okay, suicide, hatred for partner for a particular sex or gender, depending on who the abuser was in his or her family or his or her background, where it's coming from. So how does this scenario, this situation really express itself in a relationship? Most people don't really see it, as I told us, due to some people who have come from certain background and sees it as a normal lifestyle to do with their own spouse. They don't really see it as anything. Some people see it as is a peak of friction between I and my spouse. So most time he can beat me when he feels like expressing himself. That's the best way he knows how to express himself, and thereby buy me ice cream. This is not really a normal lifestyle. When it is consistent and a situation whereby the husband batters his wife, and a situation whereby the wife batters his husband and her husband and breaks his head, and every time it's also always maybe the hospital will be the resting place for that person, we should understand that this domestic conflict has already set in that family setting, and there is a need for quick intervention, either seeking for help or calling for the families or the in-laws to talk to the other spouse, which is the abuser, so that this could stop, because the health of the children, both emotionally and psychologically, is really being involved in all this scenario. So how does this really work? Because some people do not know how it works most time when it's in play. During this period, the cycle of abuse, to be precise, tension rises, offenses are being made, act of violence is being committed, and later, maybe many years, many days, many months later, comes reconciliation or peace, and most time can lead to divorce or even never coming together between the spouse. Okay, so this is the trend through which this domestic conflict, it moves, the cycle through which it moves in a family or operates in a family setting. The ugly experience is that it traps its own victim, okay? No matter who the victim may be, maybe the female or the male in the gender in the family, with hard situations such as power and control, traumatic bonding to the abuser. You see, some people are unnecessarily bonded to their partners, okay? When you see some situations whereby the woman just hears that her husband hunts at the gates, maybe he's just coming back from work, and you see her already shivering, and you see her already shaking and looking for what to do, and tells her friend, please just have to go, you just have to, you know that person is really being already traumatized, and the bonding that person is being bonding with his partner is not necessary. It's not that person wanted to organize everywhere because her husband is coming. Naturally, you could see through the expression that there is fear in that person's charisma, in how that person is behaving, in how that person is portraying his or her words to her friend or to his friend. So you know that there is something beneath. There's something that is really triggering that bonding, that attention, that expression of that person, and it is already traumatizing that victim. So you quickly look for help, you quickly look for a way to bring that person out. We'll be seeing the next topic where we'll be talking about domestic conflict management. We'll see many ways through it that could be handled. So apart from traumatic bonding to the abuser, we have fear, we have shame, we have cultural acceptance. Okay, it trap his victim with shame. He feels ashamed to leave. Why will I have to leave? Because of my children are already involved. Oh, what will someone say? What will my ex say? What will my friends talk about? That I left this man because of what? This man, I meant everything to me. I left my ex, I chose this man over my ex, and now look at how this man is treating me. If I have to voice or leave this relationship, what will people say? So they keep on remaining in that relationship. They have been trapped down in that relationship. I have cultural acceptance. Most culture, you hear them say, whether your husband beats you, he's your husband. Just stay in it. Okay? It doesn't really matter. He's your husband. And they accept it. They see it as a norm. They see it as a normal thing to do. So most victims, that's what you see. These are the excuses that they give. These are the things they try to rely as comfort, as a reason to bear that tyranny, oppression, and leadership or rulership in that relationship from the abuser. So we also see lack of financial resources. You see, one thing that the abusers really do, when you see I'm talking from experience of what I've engaged with people. When you see some particular persons, a husband or wife, being domineering and don't want his or her wife to engage with one or two things, and you see it's always oppressing that woman or always oppressing that man, you see it's already building a strong edge around that person. It's already building a strong edge around that person so that he or she can express, continue to oppress that person. Okay, so you see these people, the victim have this fear of, I don't have money, I don't have anything, I'm not built, no dream that has been established in this relationship. If you see a relationship whereby a man or a woman doesn't want the wife to exercise his or her authority, the blessings and the glory that has been given to that woman, the talent that has been given to that woman or that man, it is a need for that woman to voice out. It's a time for that woman to either calmly talk with her husband that I really need something to start doing, I really need where to stand, because nobody knows tomorrow. Okay, he might be alive, might not be alive. So where would the family go from there? So if you try to talk things with your husband, okay, we'll be seeing that with the management session. That's why you have to join me in the next podcast, or follow me on my YouTube channel, Mumzibah Talks, where we have to see more interesting solution to this problem. So we also have claims of protecting the children. They don't want to leave because they feel that, how would the children feel like? How would the children become fatherless or become motherless? What will I have to tell my children? So they remain in that situation, that domineering cage and bondage, and they are being battered, and every day they are sucking dry. Okay, so that is how it operates, and it could result to polygamy. Okay, and when the abuser sees that he has already caged the victim, and he has already started to take out the honor from that victim, you see, it starts to lead to polygamy. He wants to extend his tentacles to get more wives. Okay, these are hazards that can come out from this kind of a situation if not handled very quickly. So we have another one, polyandry from the woman. If the woman is a domineering woman, you can see she can start keeping her. She can want to, some people, they do it in their culture. Most African cultures, you see, they will have more than one husband. Okay, though it's not very, very pronounced, but most people, they accept it. You can have many husbands, and you can even see them flirting outside and having small boys outside that keep them okay, or sugar daddies, or men outside that they flirt with. So they have already dominated and killed the willpower of their victims. So these are the ugly experience that traps that happens in such a kind of scenario, anywhere that in a family setting where this domestic conflict is being dominated. So we also have chronic health problems. Okay, yeah, this can lead to chronic health problems, maybe against his victim. The victim can start to feel always maybe fainting all the time, depressed. It can have a heart attack, or maybe it can have a hypertension, can become hypertensive. Okay, so these are the things that can also happen. We also have limited finances. Okay, we also have mental illness. So this is what happened. Trauma, as I said earlier, physical disabilities. Okay, the baby that from the abuser is always beating the victim, and one day maybe just blinds his or her eyes, or breaks his or her legs, or push the victim and hits her head, and maybe have loss of memory, amnesia, and many things. These are the hazards that happen in such a kind of family setting where this is being dominated. And we also have disabilities, as I said, there are physical disabilities, and victim experience psychological disorders. I said, they start to behave like that, as if they are insane. Some have been traumatized, as we saw in traumatic bonding, and they feel really depressed. They can't really express themselves. So many other situations, like in this physical psychological disorder, like the PTSD. Okay, that means this post-traumatic stress disorder. This is what happened in the mind of that person. It becomes maybe so stressed, and it starts to affect that person psychologically due to the kind of punishment or whatever thing he has been receiving from his or her partner. So domestic conflicts, it kills, it steals joy, and one's honor, someone's honor, the victim honor, the marriage honor as an individual, and also destroys marriage. it destroys the individuals that are involved in that relationship. It doesn't matter whether that person is an abuser, or it doesn't matter whether the character is a victim. It doesn't matter whether the receiving end are the children or the parents or the siblings or the neighbors or friends. It destroys. So it shouldn't be encouraged in any relationship. It shouldn't be pampered in any relationship. It shouldn't be covered. You see some people, some families, some wives, they cover for their husband, they pretend for their husband. We are like that. We want to make sure that we are hoping. I'm a woman. We hope that it will get better with time. We hope that he would change. Okay, it's not that really we want to really cover those things that are happening. It's not really. Some people, they see it as they are being ashamed, so they don't want other people to mock at them. It is normal psychologically, but there is also a need that when we see this, we come out, we talk about it, we call people, we look for human rights. When it becomes life-threatening, when it becomes very serious, at the subtle level, you can talk it over with your spouse. You can bring him to an end where we have to understand that is not good. Okay, so we should remember that this conflict, it kills. It steals joy. It steals one honor. It steals the family honor. It steals the peace in the family. Okay, and it is not really good. It's not supposed to be supported by any reason, by whatever reason at all, in a relationship. So join me next time as we talk on domestic conflict management. Till next time, I wanted to quickly send some comments on how you really understand domestic conflict to be, or if you've been in any sort of situations and you don't know how to come out of it. We're gonna align you with some human rights center where they will talk about it and they can help you out of that situation. Don't be afraid. Don't keep it in your mind. Don't feel as if that the world has ended. Oh, who have sent me into this marriage? Oh, I am done for. So that is it. And you live with it and it's causing more havoc. No, it's supposed to be exposed and it's supposed to be destroyed, and it's not supposed to be pampered at all, because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be honored as a human being. Everyone deserves honor. Okay, so wherever you are, please keep on sending your comments after listening to this video. It could help one or two families or help people out there so that they could learn from it, and thank God for your comment. So if you like this video, I know you will, just give me a thumbs up so I know also that you dropped by, and subscribe also to this channel or to this podcast so that you can be listening to it. Follow me also on int'l FM. You can follow me on my YouTube channel, Mumzibah Talks, where we'll be seeing many videos where we have to talk about issues that will help better our families and a nation in diaspora. Thank you so much for listening to me. I am Mumzibah. Bye now and see you next. Stay tuned and love in your marriage.